Hello, hello. Happy Monday, May 18th, 2026. How is everybody? I am running around like a chicken with my head cut off today. Didn't get the didn't get the stream up until just a few minutes ago. But here we are. Got a bunch of packages in today. I will mention that once. Hello, Gabriel. How are you? Happy Monday. It's about 80. It's supposed to be 80 degrees here today. And when I came in, it was 60 degrees in the shop. Hello, Russell. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to keep it that low. Close the windows. And it'll stay nice and cool all day. So we'll try not to run the heat gun too much today. But we got a couple things to do. A reminder or a notice. I did receive my Soda Pop 2022 Pen of the Years in today. They are up on the site. So if you sign up for back in stock notification, they are going out as we speak. The earlier you sign up, the sooner you get your notification. So it kind of cycles through them in order. And sends them out essentially on the hour, every hour, based on how many are left. So that's what's cooking. Pro Gear Slims, extra fine, broad, music, and zoom, and a full-size Pro Gear literally only got one extra fine. There's one full-size Pro Gear. It's only an extra fine. There are no fines. There are no medium fines. There are no mediums and nothing. Good afternoon, David. So, and I don't have anything to switch them with. They are what they are. They are all sealed from the factory, from Japan. Ready to go. So anyway, those are in. We got some new ink in today, which will be going up on the website hopefully middle of the week. There's new Shikiori ink. There's 12 new colors. So if you're a fan of the Shikiori, that is coming soon. And a small restock on some TWSBI today too, including some Serpentine Bronze and a couple of other things. And I got some more consignment pens in, including one of the coolest desk sets ever. And I really dig it. So I may take my sweet time listing it for sale. No, just kidding. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's just too cool. It's too cool. It's a Parker desk set, dual fold junior, orange pen with an elephant on it. It's quite frankly a miracle it survived the shipping because it was actually inside the box, upside down, resting on the head of the elephant. So I mean, thankfully they're pretty sturdy little pieces, but so look for some of that stuff. There's a couple of interesting sailors in the mix. Navular and Edison, a Levenger, and a vintage Kaweco, which is interesting because I've never seen one that says Kaweco by Diplomat. Kaweco Sport by Diplomat, it says. I'm not familiar with that, so I don't do much with Kaweco, or at least vintage Kaweco, but that's interesting. And it comes in an original pouch. You would not be opposed to having one of those desk sets in your collection. Let me tell you, I can make you a deal. I could even put it in my carry-on when I come down and see in less than a month. It's less than a month from now. You're expecting 80s tomorrow and Wednesday. Yeah, so Sunday I mowed the lawn here at the shop, and then it rained promptly, or Saturday. Then it rained all day Sunday, and when I come in today, I look, okay, the front looks okay. I go out to the back, and there are dandelions now that are, 9-10 inches tall, and then I popped my head out the front, and between when I drove in and like noon, there are like 7-inch tall dandelions. So, but anyway, what else is cooking? Not much else. So, we've got a bunch of pens to kind of sort through today. We're going to finish up a couple things. I forgot to seal up a couple of touchdowns last week. We had Pen Club yesterday. I picked up a couple repairs there. So we'll start those today. Beth, if you're watching, we'll get to those in a little bit. And we got pens from last week we're going to test. We'll get those out of the way first before we start some new stuff. So, can't think of anything else. Let's see. All right. And then we'll try our daily frustration with that Century, and maybe this 51 in Cordovan. I suppose you could give me a price on the set at some point. I'm divided on whether or not it's going to be one of those prices where, well, shucks, it doesn't sell. Kind of prices. I just don't have, and so Lisa and I were looking at a tall, almost 6 foot tall flat file case for the shop yesterday, and I don't think the deal's going to go through, but it had a nice little section on the top I thought would be perfect for desk sets and bottles of ink and things like that. But we'll see if that pans out or not. Oh, I do have a funny story. I have a funny story for those in the IT world, or those who have dealt with customer support before. And understanding my background, of course, was in IT. A few steps up from help desk, but kind of the same thing. IT is all help desk is really what it is. So I had the situation last week where I had some fraudulent orders come through, and one got shipped out, and my fraud prevention program didn't tell me that it failed the order. And they used to change the order status so that when you went into BigCommerce, which is the platform I use, you would see that the order status was different from everything else. It wasn't blue, it was pink. And get your attention. Well, they changed that at some point. And then they merged with somebody else, and they bought another company, so that like 3 companies became this new company. And so I found a contact form, I found a help form, and I said, well, what happened to this feature? Because you took away the feature for some dumb reason, and now I lost $250. And so Saturday comes, and I very rarely check. I very rarely do much in the way of emails on the weekend. I come in the morning on Saturday. We ship the packages that are the orders that are here. I answer whatever relevant emails I have to, and then the rest sits until Monday morning. I get an email, I think it was Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening, that they had replied to my case. And then, of course, Sunday, since I hadn't, I guess, looked at it or replied or had any comment, they closed the case. Okay, so I get it. That's that's how it is. Number one, that's kind of crappy because it's on a weekend. Give me a break. But the really crappy thing is there's no indication anywhere. There's no link. There's no portal. They replied to my question, but they did not tell me what they replied with or how to go see how they replied it. And so apparently there is a contact portal that's a Salesforce operated portal, but you have to go to their help center and log into their help center. So okay, great. I figured it out. I go to the help center. There is no login, period. There is no way to log into help center so that you can log into what I presume would be the portal where I could see the answer to my question. So how about that for some fun? I thought the IT folks out there might find that mildly interesting. Lisa kept looking at me and she says, why are we paying them? Don't know. Really don't know at this point. Yeah, it must be peaceful on their end. Yeah. What's going on, Fuzzy? You don't suppose they cover the $250 for me since their software failed? They took away the feature. So now I have to have yet another screen open and look at all the orders in a second location to know whether or not they're safe to ship. Just ridiculous. It's just flipping ridiculous. UPS does the same thing. When you open up a case file, you get notified they had closed the case file saying they had spoken to me. They called me after they closed the file and it had not been resolved. Yeah. Long weekend in Canada. Good for you. I guess you should be happy it wasn't like an irreplaceable vintage pen or something. Because those I have a hard time letting go. I'm still sour about a doctor's pen that was stolen from me in Long Island 12 years ago or 14 years ago, or whatever it was. So I replied back. Well, actually, what it is, I created a new ticket indicating I have no idea what you're going to say to this because there was no indication in the email. Like, it wasn't click this link here to see the reply or a summary of the reply. I mean, it's not top secret here. There's no credit card numbers being passed. But I will look at alternatives. Because that's just not cool. Lumber mill fire on Friday. Ten firefighters hurt and 1 death. Oh. When we were kids, we used to go to, there was a fire in the middle of the night. My parents would wake us up and they would take us in the car and we would go watch the barn fire. And you would go and there would be like a whole line of cars across the street. It's really a morbid thing. Didn't happen all that often, but it happened. All right. Let's see. Actually, before I do this, seeing you work with that thread sealant reminds me I need to put mine in one of those bottles. Do you know the melting point of the sealant? There are 2 dots on my heat gun and then about 5 seconds. No, I don't really know. I still have a little bit in here. It doesn't seem to like burn or anything like that, so you might not have to worry about that. I really need to fill that up. I mean, it's pretty low in there. You were going to put your old bottle in a preheated oven to evenly heat the whole thing to pour it. Yeah, I mean, I guess as long as you take the cap off. Or, you could do it maybe in a double boiler kind of situation. That might work too. Yeah, if you just heat it with the heat gun, then it gets kind of gloopy because some of it's hot, but some of it's not. I mean, I think you'll find the heat gun's probably okay. I'm just going to polish this up. Somebody saw this pen on the stream last week. Actually, 2 people inquired on this pen. And it sold before it even went on the website. So if you see a pen that I'm working on the stream that you're interested in, that is not otherwise a client pen, feel free to email me to get in line on the pen, and do it as soon as you you think of it, because I couldn't believe I actually had two people. No, I didn't have a bidding war, but I felt bad because somebody had mentioned that they wanted it, I think, on the stream, and I said email me, and they didn't email me right away, and somebody else saw it, and you know, I don't usually play favorites. It's whoever emails first gets first chance. So I try to keep it as fair as possible. You had an oversized Edison pen out a few months. I should email about it. You can email all you want, buddy. That one ain't for sale. I don't know. I got a healthy number of vintage pens to work on right now, so I probably won't be working on anything of mine. All good. I love this. I love these green touchdowns. Awesome. Great color, especially when they've got this, the white dots in the cap, not one less thing to go missing, get chipped, or but anyway, the benefit of emailing me right away when you see something that I'm working on is I'm inclined to give you a lower price on it because I don't have to photograph it and list it. This one would have been about $5 or $10 more because it cost me money to get it photographed. I haven't looked on eBay in a while, see if they had any new Edisons or desk sets. You saw a Schaefer white dot fountain pen on eBay. They included a picture of the clip where it had lifetime printed on the clip. First time you've seen it on a clip. Yeah, it's probably an Imperial inlaid nib. No cool desk sets. Yeah, it's really been kind of dry, hasn't it? I did all that research to get my list together, and then I was able to bang out like 2 or 3 desk sets I didn't have. Found a really nice one in the box on eBay, and then nothing. I thought for sure I would find something at a pen show somewhere. All right. All we found were desk pens that were stolen from their bases, and the bases left in another state. I went home with 80% of the bases in Chicago. I counted. I ended up with 15. How many did you end up with? There were a few. There were a few downstairs. Um, Off of what's his name? 9 to 10. Yeah. Um, well, I mean, you had the majority of them. I think I probably, what did I take? About 6 or 7. Yeah. The why can't I remember his name? He helped me move some cases once. Um, Jotter guy. I bought that Vacuumatic base, and I think I bought an Esterbrook base too. My bottle's getting a little low. There are two S's in Rosa. One S. Uh-oh. It kind of writes just okay. Oh, yeah, okay. So I push it in a little bit. Now it reveals its ugly head. But the right tine is not quite straight. Hands are going to get all inky on this guy. Yeah, I think the problem with desk sets sometimes is people want a fortune for them, but they don't have desk pens and then they're not restored. So, you know, what are we doing? I mean, this is really a kind of a student level pen. Boy, I'm getting my fingers all. The desk pens for this set are easy to find. I hear that every show. The only desk pens that are easy to find are Esterbrook. You might have bought all the Boundless desk sets eBay had. Yeah, early W's are harder to find now. I usually buy everyone at a show I can see. They're easy to find. They'd have them at the base. Yeah. Well, this is a crappy nib as it sits. It is not fun at all. If anyone can help find the two desk pens each for two bases I have, I would pay a handsome finder's fee. Let me guess. It's the, what is that, the Model D? The first one? Are they the ones that were in that pennant article? Another senior dual vac is delivered, huh? You only wanted one of each color? Oh, I hate the snib. I hate the snib. I hate it when the first pen gets your fingers all inky. Hmm. You get completes and get both cap band styles? You know, I mean, depends how much it floats your boat, right? Sometimes when you write with your Karen, your index catches the corner of the nib and it gets inky. Since it's inlay nib, you don't feel it. Yeah. It's just super tight. And it's a really thin nib. Do you like the lengths of the seniors compared to the regular vacuum mask? Yeah, the senior's a nice pen. It is a good size on that dual vac. All right, that's at least got some ink flowing now. Getting there. We're getting there. I'll be happy to sell this pen. Think. I think we got it. All right. 48 minutes later, pen 1 done. Oh. I almost forgot. Let me rinse this out here. I bought some. We bought something this weekend. I almost forgot. Lisa and I went on a little excursion Friday afternoon. Normally, when she goes shopping, I just let her go and she enjoys being out by her own. But it was very clear that she wanted me to come with her. So I said, sure. So we went down to what is left of our outlet mall down in Oshkosh, which is a very, very sad sight. Was it a... You don't know if you're ready for this? Yeah. Was not a death sentence. It was not a smoking jacket. I did not buy a new jacket. There's like almost nothing. Almost nothing in this mall. I used to go there, and there was a Brooks Brothers, and I loved it. And there was a Van Heusen, and I loved it. And now there is like potholes, is what there is. I mean, apparently, it's so bad. Now, a local grocery store chain has bought the entire outlet mall and is going to make a grocery store with a gas station. I mean, like it's insane. But apparently the parking lot is so bad that some woman twisted or broke her ankle stepping into a deep pothole. I was advised against We looked at shoes. But some of these there's maybe 10 places left in this outlet mall. And some of these places are like, they're getting rid of stuff. I mean, they're deep discounting, 70% off or whatever. And, like some of the shoe places are like, hey, buy one pair of shoes, the second pair is 50% off. Like, that's the normal outlet mall shoe store sale price, But what we did do is we went to TJ Maxx and Home Goods. And Lisa, her little eagle eye, spotted something that I wasn't sure at first that I needed to have. But as they say, the price was right. So let me get it for you. We got ourselves, because, one is never enough, a new salad spinner. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Brian, you already have a really nice salad spinner. And this one is, and at first I thought this was the same one. Unfortunately, we didn't notice, there was this big piece of cardboard that kind of went over the top. We didn't notice it was actually cracked in a couple of, I guess three spots here. But yeah, it's a business expense. Absolutely. Yeah. Unfortunately, no TJ Maxx or Home Goods store anywhere near us actually had another one of these. And while you can buy similar ones online, they're twice the price. And I decided this is really not, not a breaking point, pun intended, for me. But what makes this special? Why do I need yet another salad spinner? Kind of sits in there. This one, my friends, is USB powered. It is battery powered. You press this button. And isn't that cool? So, at first I'm thinking, you know what? So I'm going to have to, I know I've got a, and it comes with the USB cord and whatever. I've got a turkey baster that I can cut up, and it's got this little square nozzle that goes on there, and then this goes on there. I thought, well, just before the stream, I said to myself, what are the odds that it fits on the top of my existing salad spinner? And this isn't precious resin, so let's just... Does it have a remote? No. It sort of does. It does, but it doesn't fit. But you'll see here in a second. Yeah. Just because I completely forgot about... I put the top on the old one. This is the old one.
Oh, and it works?
No, not incredibly well, but it works.
Okay.
It sort of works.
I am the best for finding this really cool thing.
So we put a Montblanc in there for the first tester.
Oh, because that's a smart move.
Well,
let's just damage
it's not a great Montblanc.
It is pretty cool. It goes really fast.
You're the best.
I am the best.
Now you kind of need one. Well, and this
They're
doesn't.
kind of funky.
It's
kind of cool. I spent $19.99 at TJ Maxx.
It actually goes faster because this just doesn't really fit quite right.
It goes faster with the other.
It goes faster with the other one, but that actually did a really nice job.
All right, have fun. I brought in the Amazon box.
Oh, we have an Amazon. What do we get from the Zone? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So, anyway, that's the new toy. I was a little busy this morning, but yeah, I mean it fits. This just kind of sits in there. And then this is and then there's a little spot right here. You just pull this out. I'm a little disappointed that this isn't like a flap. It's actually just a little piece. And then you put your USB-C and you can plug it in. And it doesn't seem like it goes too fast. So I'm going to work on that a little bit later. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tonight. I don't know. I didn't even know that was a thing. I really didn't know it was a thing. Kudos to Eagle Eye Lisa. Yeah, it's really great. So while Brian's using the other one, he can have this one making butter for he and Lisa. Yeah. Anyway, it was kind of fun. Well, it's really funny when you have a nib that's not aligned correctly, and you have one tine that is down, you can actually feel it on the paper, especially right here where I was trying to flex. You can feel where it dug into the paper, and then when I fixed it, it's basically smooth. So, yeah. So I got to cut up. Where do I have that? I got my fancy. This might be a little bit too big. I don't know. Maybe not. Cut this up and zip tie it up and. Plug that guy in and get a full charge. But instead of doing this noisy, shaking this screen thing, and then it'll just, you can just let it sit and let it spit it out. You can watch it. We were a little disappointed we couldn't find one that wasn't broken. I kind of, like, had I known it was broken, would I paid $20 for it? I mean, 10 would have been my number, but. What is it with these pens? Holy smokes, come on. But, when we looked online, it's like, you can buy new ones for $40 or $50 or more. And I said, yeah, we'll keep it. You had that happen with the Platinum C and a Sailor Zoom. You rotate your hand a bit and one side of the nib was catching the page. That's kind of unusual, I think, with something that broad, but. Just need to rig it up with Bluetooth. Boy, oh boy. I want a pen that writes, please. It's very dry. There we go. You no longer have the zoom. Oh, by rotating, you were pushing one side down. Yeah, the other was catching. For the platinum, you got the inside of the tine smoothed out. Yeah. Usually, you can just stick a little one of these guys in there and just. This cap clutch is just very strange. Oh, there we go. There we go. That'll work. Not a terribly expensive pen, but it'd be a fun little. Fun little pen for somebody. Nice color. Well, David, believe me when I say that had they actually had two of those, I would have bought one for you. But there was not a single other one of them in Oshkosh, Appleton, or Green Bay. And beyond that, it wasn't worth driving. I mean, at least it was ready to go to Green Bay the next day and to get one, which was an exercise in hilarity. You're gonna go look at Home Goods tonight, because she called the Appleton store to see if they had one, and so she she gets sent to the kitchen department, and 3 times in a row she gets disconnected. She's talking with somebody and they say, okay, let me go and check. And then she got disconnected. So she called back. Oh, sorry about that. Let me go and, and then like these people had no idea what a salad spinner was. like I get it. That's cool. I mean, I really didn't know either. I've never used one. Um, but yeah, they had no idea. It was hilarious. It was just like, yeah, no, you put salad in it, and they have a handle, they got a pump. They're clear. They're plastic. This has got a nice weight to it. This platinum. It's a gold-plated steel nib. I forget the model number of this one. It was like it didn't really. I don't think it really had a name. Yeah, maybe that person never ate a salad. Yeah, it was probably some young kid, just part-time job. But it had like a number. It was like the SC 1500 or something stupid like that. Um, but it's got a. This is a brass barrel. This is a brass barrel. Or no, maybe not. It's plastic. It's just got a nice weight to it. Oh my god. Nice picture. As long as that funnel doesn't melt in the oven. All right. All right. This next one I think I might be just throwing in the bin because it's I can't get this one. It really doesn't want to fill. Oh, that's why. It seems like it wants to, but you know, a woman had a Tupperware collection but lost it all when she went to use her oven. She kept it in the oven. There we go. I wonder if there's a. a breather tuber here. I can only get it to fill up to here, and it just really is very unsatisfying. I feel a breather tube, but I wonder if it... Yeah, it's not attached. Oh. Isn't that interesting? This breather tube is dissolving. Or at least this part has. This pen is probably not even worth working on. My hands today remind me when your brother and you were young, you were visiting your great grandparents. One of the great uncles wanted to shake our hands, but mom said that in unison we should wash. Yeah. I wonder if I can fit. Well, that's it. Maybe that's adhesive. Maybe it's not. Yeah, that's adhesive of some sort. Just out of curiosity. Probably gonna see if 51 Arrow. Well, that sure works better. Something tells me that sack is a little bit too small. Smaller than a aerometric. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab a 51 Arrow sack. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Way, way too big. Well, this is a flag glass sack of sorts, so. Were Epenko and Waterman connected? No. Eagle Pen Company. I mean, I guess they were both the New York companies, but they were not connected in any way, shape, or form. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. You saw one for sale with the Waterman nib? Yeah, it's a replacement. Eagle did make some genuinely interesting things, yeah. Different filling systems. A little shellac on that. Oh, yeah, glass cartridges, trapdoor operated retractable dip pen. Yeah, I saw one of those once. I'll never forget the day I saw it in the original box. And while I was intrigued by it, I probably was not intrigued by the price. You were intrigued enough to buy one? Yeah, I mean, this was very early on in my collecting years. And didn't they also made a filler? Was it Eagle that made a filler that was like a little tab on the back end of the pen? You flipped it up. We're going to let that sit. Yeah. Yeah, I forget what they called it. Okay. Yeah, I've got a few of the glass cartridge pens. I think they're pretty super cool. Different patterns. I felt bad one time. I had one in the shop, and I had a regular customer, super nice guy. Nice guy. He'd come in from time to time, and he was looking at it, and the cartridge wasn't like sitting very well on the pen, but it was just kind of there. It was really more of a curiosity than a functional writing instrument at that point. And before I could stop him, he tried to put the glass cartridge on and he broke it. Um, Eagle Prestige, yeah, that's it. Um, I kind of felt bad. And he's like, "Well, I broke it. I bought it." So, I mean, thankfully, it wasn't, it wasn't $100 pen or anything. What are we on here? 1, 2, 3. We're gonna call this one 4. Well, I believe this has been ground. Yeah, I mean, not bad for a steel nib pen. Yeah, that's it. It's like a little spoon. The other thing I liked about Eagle was their use of um their interesting use of plastics and materials that nobody else used. Different attention to detail on clips and yeah, Jim Mamalides has got some good articles on Eagle. I think he's got more than one. But I think every serious collector at some point in their life has Serious Vintage Collector has a Eagle cartridge pen, glass cartridge pen in their collection, or more than one. Boy, is that really tight. Yeah, I remember that retractable dip pen holder. It was in this super old building. If I'm not mistaken, it was one of these triangular buildings because it, 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 it two streets came at kind of an angle. Um, and it was such an old building. And it was in this small town that has since been basically eliminated because the highway that ran through it got rerouted, and and then nobody went through that town anymore. And then that antique store went out of business. As they often do. Hopefully your CF arrives this week. Flatiron Building, is that what they call it? Yeah, I knew there was a name for it, but some schmutz in the feed here. I saw little black chunks come out of in the water. Which is never a good thing. That's fine. If I can get this converter apart, because that's really doesn't want to come apart. There we go. This needs a little extra lubrication here. Much better. Holy cow. All right, next up, the Phileas that isn't a Phileas. I have no idea what model this is. My internet sleuthing has turned up pretty empty on this one. It looks like an expert, but it's not really an expert. Oh, isn't that fun? It won't take a converter. It won't take that converter. Yeah, you like a converter you can take apart? Yeah, me too. Okay, so I don't know what converter that is. I don't know what that was just sitting on my bench here. And this that doesn't fit. Takes Waterman converter only. Apparently, what the headline's going to be on this guy. Nice heavy cap. I mean, it looks like an expert. That interesting. Wow, that's not good. We got a crack. What is going on here? That's weird. Didn't really. I didn't have it in all the way. Let's try that again. And I'm just holding it from the top of the converter. You gotta go run an errand. All right. Good luck with the Waterman and the rest of the pens. Thank you. We'll chat later. Yeah, that's what you call a wet nib. All right, so the converter's seated nice and tight. Pull the nib, maybe. Mm. There's got to be a crack. Well, feed looks good. I just noticed it's got the Eiffel Tower on the nib. Hmm. I cannot see through it. There we go. Some time ago, you bought a Waterman converter. You got 12. Hmm. Yeah, it's some. Usually on Waterman, it's a crack at the end of the nipple. Or the nib is not seated fully, and this is. Quite well seated. Yeah, there it goes. It just wants to come out. It would be super helpful if I could see something, but I can't see a single thing. Like every one of these pens are going to give me a problem today. Now I know why the person who sold them to me didn't want them. All right, let's see. Just for fun, I know this doesn't fit, but let's try this. Let's try this. I don't see a crack in the converter, but let's assume it's the converter. Although I didn't see a problem with the other Phileas. And it's hard to look at. Okay, so that seemed to be okay. So I guess the next thing I want to do is I didn't see anything happen on this, but I'm going to fill this guy back up again, because if it's this converter, I hope to see it. Yep. It's the converter. Which is weird because I really don't see anything on the end, and it's tight. Oh, well, that'll do it. So, look how soft that is. It should never be that soft. I am dropping everything off my bench today. All right. Let me see if I got another converter. Interesting. I just pulled another one out, and it's the same way. Mm. So that nipple was the same way. It was soft, but it's not leaking. Oh, but it wants to. All right. Well, so we can't can't put any of these converters in there. That's just unusual. I've never noticed that before. I'm gonna go if that's the issue. Anybody else run into that before? Too coincidental, for sure. All right, next up on the disappointing fest. You've got one, it's got a pliable end, but no issues with leaks. I'm gonna have to check the new. You just pulled it to check. It could be these are seriously old. I don't know. It just seems. As I recall, my first Karen that I ever got, the pen leaked. But it was because the nipple on the converter cracked. And it was hard, not pliable. Thank you for checking. It actually writes quite nicely. I'll have to check my stock of Waterman converters that are on the shelf and see what they look like. But I thought they were all hard. You check 9 of your Watermans and 3 have the soft nipple on the converter. Interesting. It seems kind of like a poor choice, doesn't it? If that's intentional. Including the Karen you received last week. Hmm. Isn't the nipple on the pen, wouldn't it be the mouth of the converter? Technically, maybe, yeah, I don't know. I guess. All right. Well, that's got a slide converter on it. Now, I'm not a big fan of this converter. It's easy for cleaning, but in this particular instance, it's terrible because I can't see how much ink is actually in the converter. This is an A nib. Right. Clean off this lid here. Very precise, that A nib. It's, you know, this is nice because you can just go, but you can't see how much ink you got in here. You just check the ones that have the soft nipple. One of them has the metal around the end of the nipple, and the other entire end is all rubber. Huh. Anything to know about the President pen brand? I got one in a pen lot. Lightweight metal pen, but has 18 karat nib. Looks similar to the Montblanc 300 series. The Diplomat, maybe? They have like a clover leaf design on the nib. All right, last but not least in this tray, I have to do something about that filler, maybe. Yeah, that works. That's nice. Only problem is this is a little bit loose here. Some of your less expensive Waterman have unmarked cheaper converters, with there being hard plastic instead of a black nipple. Yeah, I think the new ones don't have the metal band on them. I'll be good. put that in the ultrasonic, but just a little bit of cleaning off is probably good enough. All right. I'm going to put a little bit of shellac on there. It should be enough to keep this from... All right. Should we try the USB powered thing again? It doesn't really work so well on this other lid, but it sort of does work. Oh, well, you know what? Hang on. Oh, well, that doesn't matter, though. I bet that would fit in the bowl, but it does. The bowl is not the part that matters. I could just not be lazy and like actually make. Well, see now how it fits on there really nice. Does it work if you have the USB connected? I have no idea. Um, see if that gets it good enough. Nothing out on that one. Yeah, it holds it. It stays in place. It's just not quite. It doesn't quite fit this other. This is actually a little bit smaller because this has notches on it, and then that's what grips into the inner basket. So I need to stop monkeying around and just get. I need to get the other one outfitted with some. But this will work enough to get these pens cleaned. Now, I actually technically I have not even I haven't even charged this yet since I got it. So this was just a charge it came from the factory or whatever. So let's see how well it did on this 51. Yeah, pretty good. Now it's going to spin faster on the other one for sure. It's about. I'll score my line. Hello? Are you done? No. What is that? Okay. Sure. Put them on the table. Yes. Yeah. They're cleaning boxes next door, apparently. All right. I'll deal with this later. Cut that off. All right. So these are pretty good to go. We'll come back and do this this Japanese pen here tomorrow. I'll try to figure something out here on those guys. All right. I don't know what you're talking about. Is there an elephant? There's an elephant in the room. I cannot help what my consigners send me.
How's your little word plate?
Yeah, it works okay on there. I need to. I gotta cut this. I got it scored, and then
Okay.
I gotta find my
You
zip
can go
ties.
to the dollar store and get you more.
No. But just one.
So it goes fast?
Well, it doesn't go as fast on this
Oh, because it's the wrong
because it's the
size.
wrong size. It's actually bigger. It looks like it's actually bigger
Oh, okay.
because the top piece is wider than
Okay.
the basket in here.
That's cool.
Yeah, well, it works great. You don't have to sit there and do that thing.
Okay. Cool. All right. Hope everybody is excited.
You know,
It was fun to watch.
it's a lot easier. All right. 2.5 hours later, Beth, if you're watching, we're gonna start on your pens. So we're gonna wherever combo. Go. And we got a snorkel. My next sales spinner will be industrial size one that sells for over $3,000. I don't know if I can get this, once I get that working, it'll be about as nice as I want it to be. We'll deal with that in a minute. Hey, we got a new tool for this job. There we go. It actually looks pretty clean. This gasket looked great. Ah, Is the wall a sack type or the new converter type? Oh, this one in the tray. This is a modern rollerball. Opens up back here. And apparently this one uses I'll have to double check, but the refill that was in there that was actually marked Wall Eversharp was a Montblanc style refill. Because, you know, of course they had to use something. That was going to be more expensive and harder to acquire. So this O-ring is hard as a rock. Like that. They should make a converter that works with the rollerball. All right. There's those parts in the garbage. Well, they should do a lot of things, but they don't. So. Yeah, a manual spinner will be my backup if the USB one doesn't run. Yeah, it's plugged. Yeah. All right, so that the ultrasonic. Yeah, because there's no way to manually operate that thing. It's battery only. Well, spring looks pretty good. Just a little bit of rust on there. Actually, while we're waiting for that. I have to laugh though. The USB cord that they give is like it's really super short. Like, where are you supposed to plug that in? You just take the lid off and. All right, so Beth, if you're watching, the sack is pretty good. It's pliable. It looks healthy. It's very small. It's very small. So, you just keep in mind your ink capacity on a combo is always sacrificed by the fact that there's a pencil on the other end. J-bar looks good. I'm going to just put it in the ultrasonic. Okay. That's good. All right. Really very clean in here. There we go. And while the cap, or not the cap, the sack and the point holder gasket may have been supple enough. The fact that the rear O-ring was hard as a rock and broke when I took it out, it's just proof that you got to have all three working in order to fill this pen. Okay. Ooh, excuse me. All right, that's good. Just imagine the process of designing and creating these pens in the day. Yeah. All right. That is good. You wonder what they expected the time it took to assemble the pens when they first made them? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the problem is you have to wait for this to dry. other words, you'll end up just blowing it right off the nipple there. Well, that actually writes nice. It has maybe one of the cheapest possible nib styles ever, being that the front end of the nib is depressed down to create the tipping per se, because there's no tipping, to create the writing surface. But it's nice and smooth. So one person might spend a day doing nothing but getting the sacks glued on place, then the next day continue the rest and put in the pen together. I mean, you know, I think they say shellac dries in an hour. The problem is if you tell people when you're doing repairs, an hour then can be, well, you know, it's 45 minutes. Or, you know, it's been a half an hour. That's got to be long enough, right? 20 minutes? It's getting tacky. That should be fine. If you say overnight, people will wait overnight. Blue lead in the pencil. Nice. All right. That one's good to go. This cap. A little bit of peacock or turquoise or something in there, but not too much. Not too bad. This pen is actually very, very clean, which is good. Maybe green. Maybe there's green in there. Shine that up a little bit. I'll be good to go. Should be straightforward assembly tomorrow. All right. All right. So, I contacted the owner of this pen. Still waiting to hear back from him. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. I have a bad feeling it's sealed in a manner that is just not going to come. It needs a ring top too, is what it needs. It's not going to come out easily. So we'll wait to get his permission on that. What do we have? 4:45. All right. So, I think that's probably going to be a good place to stop for now. I'll have a bunch of lever fillers and stuff tomorrow that I need to work through. Combination of stuff from Chicago and some pens that I just recently bought. After I got home from Chicago, I bought a collection, so I'd like to, which is what some of these frustrating ones today was. Get those cooking, but so we'll do those tomorrow. We'll look at that Japanese pen too that we resacked and cleaned the breather tube and all that stuff on too, and then we'll keep going. So, thanks so much for tuning in today. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your Monday. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good morning, wherever you are in the world. Be kind, be well, and we'll catch you tomorrow. All right. Take care, everyone.